Gayle King refuses to take responsibility for Kobe questions. President Trump plays the victim, and a former Baltimore police detective sentenced for lying. Today on the Diamond K Show. Welcome back, episode 394 of the Diamond K Show. Reporting for the nation. Of course, I go by the name of Diamond K. Thank you for joining me. So, there's been a lot of talk about this Gayle King interview with Lisa Leslie. We're going to talk about that. No surprise here. The president acquitted, and he went on a victory lap, but still plays the victim, though, at the same time. Really, really strange. And a Baltimore police detective, disgraced police detective, sentenced today, and we're going to talk about all of that. So, Gayle King, all right, some people may be fans of Gayle King, some people not fans of Gayle King. So, who is Gayle King? Gayle King is Oprah's best friend, you know what I mean? But as time has gone on, we have seen that Gayle and Oprah are tools of the mainstream media. When the white media wants to exploit black men, they go to Gayle and they go to Oprah. Those are the ones that they go to that handle this stuff for them with no problem, no visible problem that I can see. They have no issue with this at all. So, of course, we know about the tragic passing, the horrific accident that took Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others. Right? Kobe's not even in the ground yet. No funeral has even happened yet. But Gayle, Oprah's homie, finds herself interviewing Lisa Leslie, okay, and asks her a variety of questions. Of course, Lisa Leslie being, involved with the sister organization of the Lakers for the WNBA. Kobe Bryant being a big supporter of the WNBA. So Gayle finds herself sitting down, and just as she did with R. Kelly, if you remember that, I don't even want to talk about that. Let's stay focused. I want to stay focused, okay? She talks to WNBA legend Lisa Leslie about Kobe Bryant, right? And she, of course, goes to the sexual assault case, and asking about whether it affects his legacy. Of course, charges were dropped against Kobe back in 2004. His accuser settled out of court with him. Okay, many people, including me, do not even believe that accuser. But anyway, Gayle asked during the interview, it's been said that his legacy is complicated because of the sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player? What kind of a question is that? I mean, it's such a weird question. Of course, we talked about this, and I've said this. There's a lot of merit to some of the things that Monique said in regards to Oprah, and others have said in regards to Oprah. There's no conversation about Harvey Weinstein like this. I mean, is she sitting down? It's always a focus with tearing down the legacy of a black man. And Gayle and Oprah and any of the people that roll in their circles, they are tools, and they allow themselves to do this. And then they try to sit and justify it with lies. Anyway, Lisa Leslie, who is a legend and handled herself accordingly, she responded, Kobe's not the kind of guy. Never been like, Lisa, go get that girl, or tell her to send send her over here. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Kobe was never like that. I just never see him being that kind of person that would do that. Something to violate women or be aggressive in that way. And what really strikes me is that Gayle says, oh, well, he wouldn't be that way around you, or you wouldn't know. Then why'd you ask her the question if you weren't going to accept her answer? Because your real goal was to try to diminish Kobe Bryant and Kobe Bryant's legacy. But Gayle King, I have some news for you. You can never diminish his legacy, because you are not even on the level of someone who could even do that. But the fact that you want to attempt to do it is why she's catching such backlash online. She's been catching it, and it is good to see. For once, one of the few occasions, it's not the only occasion, one of the few occasions that people are, for the most part, united in the fact that they are not allowing someone to tear down Kobe Bryant's legacy. We don't usually unite for a lot of things, but people are pretty united on this, black people specifically. Gayle took to Instagram to respond to this backlash, and it's been heavy. But she responded to the backlash for this interview, and via her IG, she told viewers that she is mortified and embarrassed over the clip, and it's being taken out of context by the way that the network decided to edit the video. Okay, how's it taken out of context? You said the words. They only are showing the salacious parts because they want views, right? There's no surprise there. You said the words, right? It's not like they lied on Gayle. Gayle act like she's not taking responsibility. She's trying to blame CBS. It's CBS fault. You said the words. You're sitting there. We see your face. We see your lips moving and sound coming out. Refuses to take responsibility. If R. Kelly was sitting there, he not taking responsibility. Robert. Now, Gayle, take responsibility. All right. So she started reading the comments. Well, here's what's so crazy. She's surprised at the backlash. She thought that the Me Too women were going to be supporting her. She got a wake-up call. She said that she'd been reading the comments about the interview that she did with Lisa, and I know that I have only seen the clip that you saw, talking about everybody else. I'd be had she only seen that, she'd be extremely angry with her too. There's no context. We can hear other questions, and it's still going to make us mad that you asked that question. There is no context for asking a question that is centered around tarnishing his legacy. There is no context for it. So I don't know what she's thinking. So anyway, she says that she's embarrassed and she's very angry. Are you angry at who? Are you angry at yourself? Are you angry at Oprah? Who are you angry with? You're a grown woman and you said it. Who's she angry with? Unbeknownst to me, my network put up the clip from a very wide-ranging interview, totally taken out of context, and when you see it that way, it's very jarring. If someone sat in front of her for an interview and said the foolishness that she's saying right now, she would not accept it. So we don't accept this from you, Gayle. We don't. It's you were out of line, clearly out of line, and the fact that she's trying to play the dumb role is insulting. It's insulting. Gayle continued and said, I understand why people are upset seeing that clip out of context. It's not out of context. You said it, right? It's not saying that this clip is the only thing you talked about. Yes, you talked about other things, but people are going to be focused on this, and that's it. That's it. It's not clickbait. She said it. Clickbait is when someone presents something a certain way and then you click it and it's not that. This is what she said. And she feels as though if we get to hear more of the questions that we'll understand context. There is no context. You should have never. Kobe Bryant's not even in the ground. Kobe Bryant is not even in the ground, and you have Gayle King trying to make him look bad because he looks good to people because of who he is and what he's done and what he's accomplished. Anyway, so she felt the need to sit and ask a longtime friend of Kobe Bryant to talk to us about his legacy and their friendship. And that's exactly, what she did. This is what she's saying. Talk about his friendship and his legacy. There's no need to bring up that. And then to push back and ask that follow-up question it shows that you were trying to lead the interviewee to the point that you wanted them to go. It was disgraceful. Disgraceful. I hope that people continue to flood her comment section. Reach out to CBS. I'd love to see her fired. I don't think that will happen, but I would love to see it happen. But more than likely, she's going to continue to be a tool, a puppet of mainstream media, and eventually she's going to continue to wear out her welcome, and then they'll dump her after that. But black people are really going to be through with her. She's going to continue along this path that she's on, being a tool and a puppet for the mainstream. But eventually she's going to get what she has coming to her eventually. Listen to the John McKay Show, of course, radio on fire. I am here daily giving you my take on things. I mean, if you're tired of lies, if you're tired of the mainstream spinning stories, then you need to listen to the Don McKay Show. As I said, I am here honestly and passionately breaking down the daily news stories here, Radio on Fire, Don McKay Show. Stay tuned. We'll be back after this. And we are back. You made Don McKay in here. Don McKay Show, radio on fire. So it's no surprise that the president was found not guilty, acquitted in a sham trial that took place in the Senate. So he did not mention it during his State of the Union. Okay. I guess you want to give him some applause for that. But he played the victim during his reactions to the impeachment and the acquittal that came. As I said, it's no surprise. But he delivered remarks today at the White House following this acquittal. And he said it's been a very unfair situation. It was evil. It was corrupt. He said it repeatedly, describing the situation as dirty cops. Okay, he said that it never should happen to another president, ever. Well, another president never, ever should do what you did. Another president never should lean on a foreign government to investigate a political rival and then leverage monies that was appropriated by Congress for said country while they are in the middle of a war with Russia. So no president should never, ever do that. Right? None has done that, and none should do that again. The Senate, almost entirely on party lines, failed to convict him on the 2 impeachment charges. The final tallies 52-48 favoring acquittal on abuse of power and 53-47 on obstruction of Congress investigation, fell far short of the 2/3 guilty threshold of votes required to convict and remove a president from office. So we knew that wasn't going to happen. No surprise there. Trump described the votes on the 2 charges as a total acquittal. It was not. But the president whined and cried. As I said, Trump unleashed his fury against those who tried to impeach him at a prayer breakfast a day after the acquittal. Prayer breakfast. I was having some back and forth with a conservative fellow on Twitter. And, it's just the whiny babies that Trump has supporting him. They are a direct reflection of him. And these probably were strong people, and then Trump came and just babyfied them, okay? So one of conservative guy on Twitter, he said, because I said that, Trump is playing the victim role. And he said that Trump is the victim, along with decent, hardworking Americans who voted for him. If you can't see that, you're a fool. Okay? And I had to respond. To this foolishness. But it was really surprising, the fact that people really think that the president, somehow the president is being victimized when he is the bully. He's the bully. So I responded to this person on Twitter. It's on Twitter. So he's Pie Crust 33. So this conservative, Pie Crust 33, says that Trump's a victim, along with decent, hardworking Americans who voted for him. They may be the victims because they voted for him. But I said, exactly how is he a victim? There were no repercussions. He's still the president, still the head of a cult, and still pulling the wool over the eyes of hardworking Americans. Sounds like you're the fool. It's ironic. Mitt Romney, who ran for president twice, and obviously did not win, but Mitt Romney was the sole Republican to vote to impeach the president. And it took some guts, it took some balls, it took some gumption for him to do that, and I commend him for that. He knows that he's going to be targeted and has been targeted by Trump and Trump supporters, his kids, and all that kind of stuff, but he still stood up, and that, as I said, took some guts. He got emotional when he was talking about it, tears in his eyes, a little welled up a little bit, and that's good. That's good. It shows that there are still some people walking around that have honesty and some type of guidance and principles. So regardless, it did not change anything, and people thought that his state was going to be upset with him, but they are thrilled with him and met him with cheers. They are very proud of their representative, Mitt Romney. So there you have that. But I'm sure that Trump is going to continue to target him and others who did not act in accordance with the bylaws of the Trump cult. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Radio on Fire, and we will be back after this. Your man Diamond K, welcome back. Of course, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, I am at The Diamond K Show, also at Radio on Fire. So a former Baltimore police detective was sentenced today for lying to a grand jury. The former police detective was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for lying to the grand jury about planting evidence at the scene of a crime. The prosecuting criminals who work in police agencies is essential both to protect our communities and support the many honorable officers whose reputations they unfairly tarnish. These are the words of U.S. Attorney Robert K. Hur. And, this particular police officer, Carmen Vignola, joined the force back in 2007, was promoted to detective in 2014. At that time, he served on a unit assigned to the Western District of Baltimore. In a plea deal, he admitted that he lied about the 2014 incident in which Sergeant Keith Gladstone planted a BB gun at the scene of an arrest. We remember this clearly. The planted weapon was used to justify a former Gun Trace Task Force Sergeant Wayne Jenkins hitting someone with his car. That's how this Gun Trace Task Force worked. The arrestee faced state charges, which were later dismissed. It's just crazy situation. Gladstone, who retired in 2017, pled guilty last May of 2019. So let's get into some of the details of this case. On March the 1st, 2017, Jenkins and 6 other officers were arrested in connection with the Gun Trace Task Force. In January 2018, Vignola and Gladstone arranged the meeting using their wives' cell phones. Gladstone had the meeting take place in a swimming pool to ensure Vignola was not wearing a wire. Vignola asked Gladstone if he had anything to worry about following Jenkins' arrest. Gladstone referenced the 2014 incident that we just spoke of. He then told Vignola that if he is questioned, he should lie about being at the scene and about the BB gun. Of course, I gotta lie about that. Gladstone told Vignola to tell investigators that they were on the scene for assessment, and that Gladstone had taken the gun from his trunk. On February 13th of last year, Vignola made those statements to a federal grand jury, knowing that they were false, and for that, he's getting the 18 months. So that is, it's really crazy. It's offensive that these officers are lying and doing all of this dirt. And he lied while he was under immunity. We are all lost if a police officer can go before a federal grand jury and lie like this with no repercussions. So 18 months in federal prison for this officer. Former officer. It's just a sad state of affairs when we cannot even trust these supposed officers. And there are a lot of officers who are good men and women on the force, but these ones, they stand out, and they stand out loudly. Definitely stand out loudly. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. I will be back here tomorrow. As I said, if you're tired of being lied to, if you're tired of the mainstream spinning stories, then you are ready for The Diamond K Show, because I'm going to give you a very passionate but a very honest dissection of daily stories, daily headlines, daily news. The Diamond K Show, Radio on Fire. Thanks for listening. I will see you guys tomorrow.